We're back. What's going on, guys? It's Logan. Welcome back to the channel, man. I know I'm so inconsistent in posting, but I really want to do this video. If you guys remember, I did a Halloween Horror Nights prediction ranking, like a hype list on where I thought the houses would land and how excited I was for each house. If you haven't seen that yet, go down to the description down below, click on the link, and go watch those videos. It's going to be fun going back and seeing how that actually worked out, because HHN 34 is officially over. Last night, recording this on Monday, last night was the final night of the event. I was there until 2 a.m. I've been through every single one of these houses at least 3 or 4 times. And that reason is I feel like you can't really properly rate a house because every single, like if you haven't been through it more than at least 3 times or 2 times. So let's go ahead and start with number 10. My least favorite house of HHN 34 is going to be Five Nights at Freddy's. I grew up with the video games, kind of like most kids around my age. I'm 21, so I remember when every game came out, and it just absolutely blew up. This is not based off the games, though. It's more based off of the film with Josh Hutcherson, and those are, you know, it was a fun film. I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite, but I'm not like a diehard fan like a lot of people are with this IP. So I went through it. I think I went through this one 3 times, and each time it just was not scary. I didn't like what they did with Foxy. I thought the animatronics looked cool, I guess, but it was just was not scary at all. My favorite part of the house is just the beginning. The walking into the facade is really, really cool. And then you go in, you get like the actual, you're like going through the pizzeria with the 3 animatronics on the stage there, because I'm in the Orlando location. I guess HHN Hollywood didn't have that. But that's really the coolest part about this house is that beginning area. After that, it just kind of becomes pretty weak. It's not scary. Like I said, I like the characters, but I'm not in love with the IP. So if I was, maybe I'd like it more. But it just goes that number 10 spot for me because it was just not. It's just, in my opinion, a really bad house. I get bored in this house, and that's saying something because I get scared very easy. So that's why it's my number 10. Number 9 is going to be Dolls Let's Play Dead, the first original on this list. I am not a fan of this house at all. Now, the good news is this one is a house that the line is usually pretty short. So you can kind of, hit this one up at the end of the night when it's 5 minutes. You can kind of do the back 3, like Fallout, Gawkin, and this one. And I've done those 3 quite a bit because of that, for that reason. This house just didn't really do it for me. I mean, if you grew up in like the Barbie era and you're a little bit older than me, you might appreciate this house a little bit more, but it's just not my favorite. I understood a lot of the references, but a lot of the characters, or the scare actors, I guess, are kind of out in the center of where you're walking, and so the scare effect's really not great. The only good jump scare I would say in this house, kind of toward the beginning, the first doll that jumps out gets you. But after that, I mean, it's just kind of, it looks cool. It's cool that you're being shrunken down to the size of all these dolls and you're going through the different, like houses, Barbie house and all that, the oven thing. Like visually it's fun, but it's just not a scary house. And once again, I would say this kind of leans more toward the boring side of things for me. Not as bad as FNAF, but doesn't hold a candle to really any of these other houses. Number 8 is going to piss a lot of people off, and I'm going to explain myself the best I possibly can. Number 8, I have El Artista Spanish Haunting. Now, I know people are like, what the hell are you talking about? Look, man, I never got a good run on this house. I went through this house probably 5 or 6 times and didn't have a single good run through. I don't know why that was. It's just kind of the luck of the draw, I guess, with some houses. But I just did not get scared, maybe one time out of those 5, 6 runs. I'm not joking. And like I said, I get scared very easy. I'm the guy that's latching onto people's shirts and ripping them off. I'm the random guy behind you that jumps on top of you. That's me. So that's saying something. The fact that I was not didn't get scared in this house at all, pretty much. I had one of the coolest scare actor encounters. It was toward the end of the night, and it was one of the statue people there. And I don't know what I did, but like I did a little dance move and they did it back to me, and it was very funny. So like they were very interactive. Actually, that whole night too, because there was that same exact run toward the end of the house. There was another scare actor that did a little dance with me too. It was very funny. So for some reason they were feeling it that night. So that's kind of the only good takeaway. Now, like I said, visually gorgeous, really cool facades. It did kind of give the vibe of Dead Man's No Pier during certain parts for sure, with how open the facade was, and it was gorgeous in some aspects, but Just not a scary house at all for me. And I just feel like I had some more fun in these other houses. I think that's probably what it is. Like, I didn't have the worst time going through this house. Like, I feel like from now on, these are all really fun houses and good houses. I don't know, visually it was one of the most stunning houses I've ever seen, but it was just boring for me. Like, I just didn't really feel like I got much out of it going through it. But I did like some of the cool ghost effects and stuff like that. Just the best runs for sure for me. Number 7, I'm surprised I actually landed this high because I'm not a big fan of this house, but it's going to be Fallout. I think the one thing that saves this house for me is work damn you. I swear, bro. Like, I was dying laughing the first time I heard that. And every single time I went through, my little sister or my boys, we would all go through, and the same guy just go, work damn you, and he would get all hype and keep clicking the button. There was one moment where we stopped right in front of him because, you know, sometimes the houses get backed up and the lines do, and we got stuck right in front of him, and we kept saying it over and over. He kept hitting the scare trigger and kept jumping out and saying the line back to us, and it was just he started dying a couple times, but it was very funny. And we would just say it throughout the entire house, and there was other actors we would say it to, and they would break character and start laughing. It was very funny. I think that's what saved this, and Okie Dokie as well. That's a funny one. So listen, I'm not a big fan of the games. I played Fallout 4, and I'm a fan of the TV show, which is what this was really based off of. So I understood a lot what was going on. I really wish they would have included more of the ghoul. He's only in, like, I think 3 moments, if that. So that's kind of lame. I thought just the way they were building up, I thought we were going to see a lot of Walter Goggins' face in there, and we just didn't, which was kind of interesting. But the house itself isn't the best. It's a very long house. I do like that. I think the length of the house is really fun, and I feel like you go through so many different parts of the TV show, which is fun. If you're not a fan of the TV show, you're probably not going to like this house. I am. So I kind of understood every single reference, but I wish you would have seen a little bit more of Walter Goggins. So does this house deserve to be above El Artista and even Dolls? Probably not. But work damn you kind of takes it for me, baby. Next one we have is going to be our number 6, which is Grave of Flesh. This is a house that I had pretty low on my ranking, I think, going into the season, kind of on my hype list. But I was pretty surprised. It was fun. It was kind of what I expected it to be. And I remember the first 4 runs that I had, or first 3 runs really that I had of this house, because I went through this one quite a bit, just because the lines are usually low. I didn't get a single good run. I just was not getting scared. I was like, this is lame as hell. The costumes look goofy. I just was not a fan of it. But as I kept going through the house, I got better and better runs. And one of the best runs that I got out of any house this year was one of the runs with Grave of Flesh. And I don't know, it was just so random. It was some random night, and it was phenomenal. It was just every single time it was timed up with every scare. And I really like that. Now, some of the sets are kind of bland and there's not a lot of life to them. I understand that. But I don't know what it is about this house. It's super scary in some points with how claustrophobic it can get. The facade walking through, seeing your funeral above you with the tent and with your tombstone, I think is dope as hell. They start the scares right away when you take that corner right from the guy right there jumping out at you. You go into this world, into the underworld, and with all these little demons that look like mole rats and stuff. It's really cool, man. A house that, like I said, started very low and jumped up quite a bit for me to that number 6 spot. So I like the stare. I like the grinding thing. One of my favorite scares out of HHN this year is the lady that reaches out through the little window boo hole, and reaches out to you. There was a few times that really good run that I had, they reached out and almost grabbed my face. They did a really good job in this house. This is a fun house, and I think I just came to fall in love with it because I went through it so much. That's probably why it's so high on my list. But it is weird seeing at number 6, but that's why Grave is at number 6, man. Now we're in the top 5. All of these houses, I think, are some of the greatest houses I've ever been in. I love every single one. This sucks because all of these could flip for me. Number 4, number 5, I really want to flip it last second. I really do. Screw it. We're gonna put it at number 4, but that's at number 4. We're gonna push that at number 4. Number 5 is actually gonna be Jason Universe. Jason Universe is fun. It's one thing that I really enjoy about this house, though, is because a lot of people have it. People either have it at the very bottom or the very top. It is definitely the scariest house this year. A lot of people aren't a fan of it, though, because the last half of the house is just you walking in a straight line with guys jumping out right here. But I think that that's absolutely terrifying. They got in your face every single time. These scare actors were not messing around, dude. They were these giant dudes that were not scared to get in your face. And really scare you. And it was wild. It was wild. Like, there was times where they would literally run into me. I remember there was one run in particular one night. I think it was my last run of the house, actually, where I was going through, and the guys that were jumping out right here in that little straight, path there toward the end, they were jumping at me so close where I had to like duck under them just to get through. Like, it was actually insane. This house definitely had the most consistent runs, I would say, out of any other house at HHN this year. Every single time the scare actors delivered. I also love how they utilized the different like doors opening and stuff in the first half of the house. No one's really talking about that. That's so rare in an HHN house, because usually you walk through an HHN house and I get scared no matter what, but sometimes there's, you can see the boo holes and you know where they're about to jump out at you. You know what I mean? I point at them and I still get scared, but usually you can see where they're coming out. And this house, dude, there's full walls that you don't realize is a door, and they open up the door and they're jumping at you, or they're opening up a window and jumping at you. And I really, really liked how they utilized the space in that sense. So I thought that was really cool. I don't mind walking into the hockey mask for the facade. I thought that's really dope. I like when you go outside and you interact with Ms. Voorhees and the Volkswagen Beetle. I think all that's really dope. And people that hate on this house, I guess I understand, because that second half is kind of lazy. But I think it's fun with all the Jasons jumping out at you. The only issue that I have with this house is the fact that they don't have really any of the kills from the movies. There's like maybe 2, if I'm not mistaken. But the one in California and Hollywood at HHN, they actually had a bunch of like kills from the series and iconic kills throughout the entire house. And I guess that's kind of more of a basic way to go with it, but I would have probably enjoyed that a little bit more than just the Jasons jumping out at me. I would have enjoyed something in that sense, but I enjoyed this house overall. I thought it was, like I said, one of the scariest houses the past couple years. Is it Insidious times 10? No, but it is definitely the scariest of this year. Number 4 is Hatchet and Chains. I just have to put this one up there, man. As I was talking about it, I don't know if I cut it out or not, but I went on like a 2-minute rant, and then I was like, I have to switch it with Jason Universe. This house, man, it's amazing. It was the first house that I went through at HHN this year, and I was just blown away. It was that first run that I did, which was the first house of HHN for this year for me. It was probably a top 2, might be the best run I've ever had at Halloween Horror Nights. They were constantly just jumping out at me. Every scare actor gave it their all. And this was like 3 weeks into the season as well. So it's not like it's super early or super late. Like, this is only three weeks in, because I was filming Sweet Magnolias the first couple weeks that HHN was going, so I wasn't able to go. But I was blown away with Hatchet and Chains, man. This would have probably been the last B movie that I would have taken from Slaughter Cinema 2 from last season to incorporate into a house, but I'm so glad that they did it, man. This was like number 9 on my hype list this year, and I was not expecting much from it at all, but I loved the Western vibes from it. I thought the storyline was great. I thought the scare actors gave it their all every single time. I had one bad run out of like maybe 8 with this house, and every other time I went through it, I was just blown away, man. So Hatchet and Chains, I love this house so much, dude. It delivered every single time. I have nothing bad to say about it. It's fun. I mean, the hand reaching through like it's all so good, dude. It's all so good. So I love Hatchet and Chains. Now we're in the top 3. This was tough, because I think all 3 of these houses, I mean, really the top 5, they're all interchangeable in some way, but the top 3 is really just a toss-up. I mean, there's really no true ranking here. Number 3, I gotta go WWE Presents The Wyatt Six. When this house was announced, I was not excited at all. I'm not a WWE fan. I was back when I was in, first, second grade, and you had, John Cena and The Rock and that whole thing. But I have not been keeping up with it really ever since at all. So I didn't know much about Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt Six. And that did not matter, because I loved this house. I came into this house with low expectations on my hype list. It was like number 7. I was just not looking forward to it. And it was the house that I probably, next to Hatchet and Chains, ran the most, because the line is usually lower. So this one I probably did a good 7-8 runs on as well. And I loved it every single time, man. It was just, it blew me away. The scare actors knew that they had to do Bray Wyatt justice and deliver on such a high magnitude, man. I loved it. It was, I will say this house, I don't think I ever had a bad run in the White Six at all. I loved how they gave every character their own section and own moment to shine. I loved that. You know, the final moment when they're jumping out at you, man, like, they get in your face, man. And I love it. And the last night, they had 2 scare actors on the stage right there at the end, and they were incredible, dude. They had a lot of scare actors, actually, last night, the last night of HHN this season, in this house in particular, which I absolutely loved. I love the little chair at the end for Bray, man. That's really cool with his little lantern. And like, I love how you walk through the WWE, go into the backstage, and you go through the Firefly Funhouse and come to interact with all these characters. And it's cool, man. I really, really enjoyed the WWE White Six this year. Blew me away. I don't really have anything negative to say. I just appreciated these other 2 a little bit more. Number 2 for me it's going to be Gawkin. Gawkin, the Monsters of the North, man. I had this one as my number 2, I think, for my hype list coming into the year. Everyone had it in their bottom 3. I was like, what are y'all doing? This is going to be a banger-ass house. And it was. It delivered on so many levels, man. It had the biggest jump scare that I've ever had, for sure. When you come around that little, there's like a little section that's just like a tunnel almost, and you take a right going through the woods, and you have a guy that jumps out right here over you. And that dude got me horribly last night and got me a few other times, because usually they're just standing there and then they just run at you or jump at you. Some of the scare actors, or this one dude at least, will duck like underneath the railing and then just pop up. So it looks like there's not a scare actor there. And then right as you turn, he jumps out. This also has another really good jump scare that got me pretty much every time. I think it's toward the beginning of the house. It's kind of the same area where you have the werewolf above you or whatever it is, and you walk and the lady jumps out from the left side. She got me once really, really bad too. So some of the biggest scares that I've ever had at Halloween Horror Nights came from this house this year. The scare actors didn't really get in your face all the time, I will say that. The scare actors weren't as consistent as WWE or HHN or even Jason. Or some of these other ones, but I just think aesthetically, I love the vibe of the house. Like, I knew I would really enjoy it, man. I thought we would have snow in this house. We didn't. I'm not the only one that thought that, apparently. So I expected some snow. There wasn't any snow. That actually hurt not the expectations, but the ranking for this house when I first went through it the first time. It dropped all the way down to like number 6 or 7 for me. We're not going to do that. And so I was like, yeah, it's not, this thing sucks. And then after I kept going through it and I knew what to expect, I really appreciated it. I think the big-ass burning voodoo thing is really, really cool. My only negative with this house, and this is why I have to blame it on the house, not the location, because Fallout didn't have this issue, is the ceiling of which I know you can't have a roof when you go through the houses for fire issues, but you could see the ceiling so well, and it's so lit up that it takes me out of the immersion a little bit. And it's not a big issue, but it sucks when you're going through the house and you're so immersed and you're having a great time, and then you just look up and it's just this big ass like insulated roof that you got to look at, and that kind of took me out of it sometimes. And I thought I was the only one that felt that way. And then one of my buddies told me the same thing. He was like, that was cool, but that. And I was like, yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one. That's my only issue with it. And like I said, I can't blame it on the location, because I don't have that issue with Fallout. Like, I was driving home last night and I was thinking about how I'm going to rank these videos today. And I was like, that same thought crossed my mind. I was like, oh, but Fallout's in the same kind of tent. And like, I wish I would have thought about this while I was going through Fallout, because I did like 3 times last night. But I did not look up, or like, at least I wasn't distracted by the roof like I was with Gawkin. And I'm assuming it's because that big ass lit up thing that's on fire that probably, projects a lot of light to the ceiling. But I just hope going forward that with this location, they don't have that same issue again where the lighting just kind of destroys the immersion. So I really, really hope that they get that fixed. because that did take me out of it a little bit. But I really enjoyed this house, man. I thought just the vibe that it gave off. Like, I'm a big vibe guy, and I love the tone that they sent of being in this small village. And yeah, dude, the little callback to Blood Moon, that was really cool. Like, it was just overall a really, really dope house, man. And I just love the tone that they set. They really delivered for sure. And then number one, to no surprise for a lot of you guys, is going to be Terrifier. I only did this house 3 times, I believe. You know, went through both the dry and the wet path. They're not really too different, honestly. I expected like a scare actors to be in the dry path, and they're not. I get why they're not in the wet path, so you know they don't slip or anything. But yeah, this house overall, though, man, I mean, delivered. I've seen all 3 Terrifier films. I watched Terrifier 1 when it first came out, because then it dropped on Netflix not too long after, and I remember watching it. And I was like, what the hell is this? Like, this is, like, I thought it was like a legitimate scary movie, and it was, like, who came out on the bicycle and shit, and I was like, what am I watching? And so I've been familiar with this property for a very long time, and it was so good. This is something that this is a property that a lot of people have been wanting to come to the event for a long time. Not only was Art walking around the actual park really, really dope, I never got to see him without the whole thing of security, though, because I guess people were, like, you know, touching them and stuff. But I did have a really good time going through this house. I love how long the house is. It just feels like it's never ending. I love when you walk through the facade. That's really dope. All the different moments from the different movies. The smells are horrendous at some points, dude. Like, honestly, the bathroom smell is like, that shit was terrible, pun intended. So yeah, terrible, but such a fun house to walk through, because like, number one, the arts, all the actors did such a good job at replicating and imitating Art the Clown and really becoming him. I thought the makeup looked amazing. The outfits, the costumes were phenomenal. Like I said, all the scare actors really, really delivered, which a character that's built off of his mannerisms so heavily. You have to really, really nail those down. With Jason, you don't need to, you know, Jason just does this, you know. Michael Myers, I guess, does have a specific walk to him, but it's still not as particular as Art the Clown and his, you know, fun little mannerisms and him toying with his victims and stuff. And, you know, they do the clap with you going through the art, you know, cafe thing, and like the clown cafe. And it was so cool how interactive the actors were every single run I went through, and how consistent they were throughout. The coolest part about this house is even when the Art goes back into the boo hole and is just sitting there waiting to come out again, he just stares at you. And that's like some of the most scary shit ever, dude. Like, I remember on my first run in particular, that happened like 4 times. I was walking through and I just missed the scare, and he would walk back and he would interact with you as he's walking back. But he would get back to the boo hole and then just stare at you, and he would smile. And so you look into the boo hole, it's just a big shadow, and all you see is just his head and like the smile and the eyes, and it's just like scary as hell. And he runs out at you for the scare, dude. Like, even when they're not scaring you, it's a scary house, man. You're fully immersed. You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know where they're gonna. Oops, sorry. You don't know when they're gonna pop out next. I love this house to death. They did it justice in every way possible. It feels like, you know, it's not original by putting this at number 1, but it wasn't because like I said, I've only been through it, you know, 3 times. 2 of the times came the past couple weeks of going, and so because the lines are usually stupid long, it jumped up after going through them, you know, 2 more times, because just the consistency of the actors and the scares and the atmosphere and the immersion and the tone and just everything, they just absolutely nailed. Had an absolute blast with this house, man. So that's going to be my final ranking. FNAF, Dolls Let's Play Dead, El Artista, Spanish Haunting, Fallout, Grave of Flesh, Jason Universe, Hatch and Chains Demon Bounty Hunter, WWE Presents The White Six, Gawkin Monsters of the North, and Terrifier. There you guys go, man. Go ahead and give me your ranking down in the comment section down below, man. I would love to see your guys' thoughts. I thought this was a phenomenal year of HHN. I thought all the scare zones were amazing. All the shows were great. Everything was absolutely incredible, man. So I'm really excited to see how they follow this up, because the standard's going to be pretty high. The expectations are going to be up there, so we'll see what happens. But like I said, comment down below your ranking, man. Give this video a like, and let me know what video you guys want to see next. Have a good one.